I want to tell you a love story about somebody whom I poetically named Nautical Knots. This person stays with that name, for I do not think that their lack of presence in my life earns them their actual name. It was a long time ago that I fell in love. We met, we fell in love, and never to see each other physically ever again. Communication remained online for some time, but then I was left alone with my emotions. There became no contact, and the love that I felt in my heart remained so strong for so many years. It was painful. It had been painful. It continued to be. It affected every relationship I had thereafter. But love was in its truest form. Love that is beyond description, love that filled my soul so much that even when I was in my own depths of despair and crying and so hurt and pained by not being able to express this connection, still, every moment was a gift. Every little bit of it, every single emotion that I think I felt, every emotion that existed. Even as a younger person, I don't know. It feels like I matured in age so much simply by having that experience in my life. That true love, that Romeo and Juliet like feel. It's something I almost hate to admit, but it is also so true. And it's a romance. It's still a romance, even though I felt it existed in my own head most of the time for so long. It's romance that drives my soul. As a poet, I hide behind theories and philosophies, momentary things, inner discovery, courses of nature, empowerment, cycles, and the pure love of writing. Underneath and in between all, there has been a great love and immense heartbreak, longing and accepting. A love story always expressing itself to me beneath the surface that many others don't even know about. Because how are you supposed to talk about a love that doesn't thrive? How are you supposed to share that you're really in love with somebody you met once? You'll never meet again, but that love is still stronger than anybody else that you're bound to meet and date. Because I was determined to keep my life going, continue to live, continue to express myself, continue to feel love and connections. However, nothing felt as strong as that one that would never really be. So it was, I almost want to say poetic tragedy. Now that sounds a little bit traumatic, but all of it truly was traumatic for me. So I'm here to share with you a story. Poetry, things that I've written over the years, feelings that I've felt. Why now? Because love is poking at my heart, I suppose, these days. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to let go of the past and recognize what those feelings are. I'm here to open up my heart in order to see the truth of what the experience was. Nautical knots. You don't get a name in poetry, but there's hints, I suppose. I want to start off with a poem here that I wrote. I guess it's not the most romantic one, and I don't even know if I can say I have romantic poetry. I mean, yes, but there's also so much heartbreak. And you'll see as I dig into it, I have some older poems, this journal that I just rediscovered with things from like 10 years ago, which is a lot fresher to the date when we'd met 13 years ago. And that's wild for me. And I want to read some of those. And I'm going to read some poetry also from the trilogy that is by Chaos of Tao, Reverse Cycle, Repeat, and Emptiness of the Way. Because there, let's do some math, like 10 years later, it was still so resonant. 8 years, 10 years, I've lost track. Feelings were so resonant, but it was always something that I could reflect upon when I am in a relationship with others. This is what love feels like. Or does it compare? Oh, comparison. Now that's a tough thing because comparing makes you move away from presence, from the here and now experience. When you're comparing, you're not fully loving where you are. And sometimes I did wonder where I was. Some of these things I have to say are also lines from poems that you'll see later on. But really, this person, when we did get to speak a few years ago, and I told him about all the poetry that I'd written across the years, he said, I must be your muse then. While it's kind of true, I also want to kill him for that line. Oh, but let's see here. Let's see some poetry. What did I have to say? Oh, oh. Like I said, this love has not been easy. The moment I fell in love, I cried. Hard, heavy, because I knew it was already the end. I knew it was the end the moment we kissed. The moment when I let go of all inhibition and said, that's okay. Everything that was going to be holding us back in the future, I accepted it and I let myself go. Bloody risky. And I don't regret it. Well, here's a moment I had. Well, that was a lot better than the piercing pain in my stomach. So I have to accept, to remember all, to acknowledge and be happy with my experiences. Fine. But you can calm down about it now, eh? Like 50 emotions punching your gut and clawing their way in. It's pain. As I said, for so long, this person has been absent from my life. And I've always pushed it away. I've always pushed the emotions away. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? You have to hang on to your life. You have to move on. There's no point in holding on to an ex that is never going to speak. It's a situation that I could never even say, even ex, even. When we did get to speak one time, he said something to the effect of when we were together. And I thought, you thought of us as together? I didn't think we ever had a chance at all in, in any way. And it really surprised me. So, yet another thing to tell myself that it's stronger than it really was, but still, after that communication, there was remotely none. So, what was the point of even saying that? Anyways, I'm going to share another poem here, something from probably 10 years ago. But how love hangs on, and we try and we search. And now, with modern day social media, We don't ever have to be completely without a person in a way. We always get to stalk them, check in. No, I don't think I've done that for some time. And I say I don't think, but some habits are hard to break, aren't they? All right, here's one. I aim my finger at the bed, giving it hell for my lack of sleep. I cried and protested at its fault, my autonomous body versus its immobile form. For 3 nights I crawled to him, disturbed by heat from the comforter, window open for cool air to flow, but my active mind kept blood flowing. Memory stirs up a dream, if only it could be lucid. His face appears on the screen, southern accent rings through speakers. Pushing my phone away just to breathe, pulling my bunny close towards me for a hug. Still, I lay motionless on my stomach, relaxed body but fluttering eyes. You're intangible. Nothing here reminds me of you. You left nothing behind with me, not even a letter. My apologies as I weep, dreaming you're nearby. So little snippets across the page here. Without having anything but pictures to remember you by, how should I remember you? Your face that glowed red after some drinks, a face that stretched to grin after rum. Did it occur that these are misrepresentations? The true heart deep within shuddered to be released. It shook in my hand, yet soft yet passionate. You caressed my tiny body like a pretzel. Your voice rings through my speakers. With eyes open, I picture your face, an echo from the long time past, materializing your texture with my hand. Computer yawns as it heats up, a defense against my overuse. I fell limp upon my red pillow, then squeezed it to wish for you. I only sat staring at my screen. For 2 hours, I tapped 7 keys. You smile at my silly attempt to love you back into my life. How do I begin to explain the way I feel about you? How my heart swells when I think of who you are. The way I picture your smile, so pure, untainted. I read these and I feel for the girl who wrote them. And I don't entirely connect with who she is and those feelings anymore. But still, having been the author of these words, I know what it felt like. I don't want to dive too closely in because what's the point, right? I don't need to be there. My life is so wildly different. I've had so many other people in my life and inspirations and growth. But when I think of what that love was, there is something so pure and so human about it. And I can't, how do I say? I can't let go of the truth of what it once was. It helps me to connect with the feelings that I express now. I don't know if this is making sense. I sure hope it does. But I think it's time to open up the other books. Just tell the story. I'm just here to tell the story. And anybody who receives it, receive it as you will. But there's a lot that has happened, and I don't know. Because the story isn't exactly straightforward. It's different moments of my experience that I decided to put into poetry. Because all the beautiful love feelings didn't always make their way in, because there's also a lot of heartbreak along the way. There's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of longing, there's a lot of loss. This sense of pure love that it's like destiny. It's like we met each other in previous lifetimes and we had a moment here, now, then, whatever. And it was just a glimpse. You'll see that in the later poem, the one so named, Nautical Knots, that remains to be his name. And I'm just going to go ahead and start reading because I can't really tell the story without there being the words now, can I? So we're going to jump to page 29 in my first book, Chaos of Tao. At least this one has the potential to be about him. This one has the potential to be about different people. But think of repressed memories, imprints. Focus, focus, I must try to see. Beams of light point at me. Frantic, frantic, close my eyes, materialize. Memories arise, and here they take form. Find familiar faces. An amoeba, an antler, hopefully a flower. Try to take control. What am I looking for? Blend vision into static. Nay voices, nay direction, a lily bloomed and died. Peek at the sun, red glow eyelids. Is that who I see? Hold fast and let go. A pebble in water falls below. Light isn't always clear. Beams blind the eyes. Imprint dark images. There's not so much that is, say, direct about that one. It's just the moment of closing your eyes, letting those things materialize, and suddenly you get a vision of something, right? Your mind is going to bring to the forefront in those moments what you really need to see and experience, hear, know, acknowledge. And in some moments when I read this poem, it's about him. In other moments when I read this poem, it's about other people. It can be about traumas. It can be about somebody causing a trauma, i.e., my old roommate. Well, it's one of those things I was going through at the time. So I'm going to read the next one. It's called Hope is Power. Tell me about the greatest love that you have ever known. Does it take hold of you? How does it make itself known? Flooding the mind with memories, confusion of love and danger, delight or despair, the two are paired. Resist, resist. I wouldn't dare. Not anymore. Hope is power. Now we're in for the big one. It's called Nautical Knots. O love long past, O love of future and present, the answers I crave and the answers from which I'll run away. What's the point of love that doesn't shine? How does it grab hold with strings so loose? Nautical knots aren't meant to break. Nobody wants a sunken ship. All ships set sail and arrive back at a dock. Upon many docks they may land. A piece of your soul rests in every place you've ever been. Each memory you hold on to holds you to it as well. Forgetting is not the same as letting go. Letting go relieves but does not forget. What is the truth of my memory? Is there any? Blushed cheeks with a glow in his eyes. Of course, he was drinking all night. He was mesmerized by the ability to fall in love. When he went out the door, 7 minutes in heaven comes to an aching end. I learned what it felt like to miss someone. These memories are still so strong, the details so vivid for so long ago. I can't wipe them away, but maybe I can love them. Love is more powerful than pain. So why then does it hurt to imagine? When faced with the decision to love the past or to hide, I'd sooner hide. If indeed I love the past, that should mean I'll fall in love over and over again. How is that fair to my life now? How would it help me? In the darker depths of my mind, there is an unswept corner. It keeps collecting dust, and as always, I sweep it away. How often do we watch each and every dirt particle as it lands on the kitchen floor, every carpet in the house, every surface? One can't monitor that just as well as we can't monitor memories. Humans are inclined to control rather than to accept and harmonize. He's just a memory. He's just a memory and a good one. I've had happier, more joyful memories surrounding him in my consciousness as of late. I smile and say, I've loved him. Circumstance was wrong, so it didn't work. Love for the soul can still thrive. What is consciousness but the collection of souls traveling together through time and space in many long lifetimes? Are we connected? Maybe we had just that chance, once in this lifetime. and perhaps recognized each other's eternal selves. Just once in this lifetime, a tiny glimpse to see what love can be. Go back to your life. Keep searching for the truth. Love is all power. Love is the healer and the wound. My heart was broken, yet I learned to love more. That I can forgive. That I can adore. In a way, writing this poem was like a wrap up of all of my emotions. It explained everything. It explained the moments when we met, how long ago that love was, how in my consciousness I can't make my mind stop that sort of collecting of dust, and then I wipe it out and clear it out and move on yet again and again. And it's acceptance for the fact that those always come back because they're just going to come back. You can't let go of such a powerful feeling of love. It's just not possible. And I'm sure everyone's got it. I'm sure everyone's somebody in their life that is simply never going to let go. I feel now that I've arrived at a point where it's not actually what I'm feeling about this person anymore. I recognize and love the poetry, what I felt and what I've learned, what I've been able to record. This is my spirit in this human body, this adventure of life. And I was able to experience all of these things and write about it and share about it. Well, maybe this is me sharing about it now because I've stayed silent for so many years. Silent because what's the point? What's the point of love that doesn't shine? How does it grab hold with strings so loose? And then the acceptance later on, like I was saying before, the collection of souls traveling together through time and space in many long lifetimes, maybe. Maybe. This is just a moment when we were meant to meet. Maybe this was a past life love, and that's why I'm holding on so strong. But it's not meant to be in this life, you know? Maybe in the next life, I discover Rochelle Mecca's poetry, and I read this and I connect, and I know the feeling when that person arrives. Maybe. We don't know what spirit form to human form really is. And then through the end of that one poem, the acceptance of broken heart, and how much I have learned to love and grow from that experience. All right, I'm gonna move on from that one. I'm glad I kept it together because honestly, just reading that in this context was going to make me cry. And I mean, that's fine. So there I was in 2020 writing this, and I would pin that around the summertime, I'd say. Because I'd watched the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's the one with Jim Carrey in it. And um I don't want to give anything away, but long story short, this couple keeps trying to erase each other from their lives, from their memories, and yet they keep finding each other. So just watching that one and how it played out just poured this poem out of me because it made me reflect on that sense of true love. In my case, we were never finding each other ever again, so I've always felt very alone in love. This next one's called Silent Reflections. I would pin this about in the autumn, I guess, a few months later from that other one. Silent Reflections. I stare off into the distance. Storm clouds roll in. Dark gray and violent fury perfects the landscape of my mind. I am frustrated with the terrible urge to call you, my love. It seems I've done everything else right. The world has opened up for me. In the darkness, I still find your light. Forever in a night, forever in my heart. I have so many questions that you can't answer. I have so much love to share. The thought of calling you defeats me. I couldn't imagine hearing your voice. I want to feel confident when I find you again. You wouldn't want me to break the seal otherwise, would you? tortured by the wonder if whether or not it's okay. Am I thinking too hard about it? I'm sorry. When I was younger, I didn't consider you. I put you into a hard position. I also didn't consider myself. Knowing deep within myself that you were true, nothing else mattered. My body stirs, knees pressed together slowly, toes a careful dance. It's so hard to hold back. I want to love you from a distance, not ready to get close. Heart-shaped burn on my wrist, nerves ticking in my brain, body frozen. This isn't the beginning. Talk myself out of it. Inspired to try. No, not now. Would it hurt to rekindle? So much back and forth. So much back and forth. Because it's terrifying. Maybe the rejection's terrifying. Maybe the wanting to get close and then it dissolves yet again is terrifying. I guess that's the rejection part. But what do you do with so many emotions that won't let go? Because it makes you think, it makes me think that there's something more to it. It's not like anything bad happened, just distance, just non communication, as far as I know. There's more. There's more to it. But it didn't have to be the way it was. Anyways, this one's called Contact. Break through, break through, break through the void. Cross the barriers. The summits between us crumble, flatten. The earth is no match for us. The urge too great, I reached out and made contact. No going back. I've been accepting that there are things that I shouldn't be doing for far too long. Now I listen to what I shouldn't be doing and explore that as well. No pain worth feeling the weight of holding it all in. Let go. Release. What has life got against me? Oh, we're picking up confidence. We are picking up confidence. And then we spoke. It was good. This one's called Heal. Lost waves drag my pain away. I couldn't never be free without this release. I feel like I've aged many years. I feel like I've realized my naivety. Forget, forgot, forgotten. Charged with woes of love. I'll never forget you. Identify my origins. Don't let me forget you. It was you all along. I did forget about you. I come back home to live without, but never forget you. Carry on, carry on. Do you see it? Do you feel it? We are family now. A heart restored can grow, but never, lovingly, ever forget. Well, the next one is called Scream into the Void. It was never meant to be, wasn't it obvious? That fate would keep us away? Your lips never to breathe in mine since the day we met. I've had to dream of your smile, and you always looked away. Carry my pen like a torch and believe it would bring us back together. Forgive my insanity, but I held your heart too. Destined for disaster, a true love never to unite. Always behind technological veil. And that's the last poem in that book. Acceptance, love, growth, anger, over and over. And it's a bloody cycle. It sure is a cycle. Because again, what are you supposed to do with so many emotions? Oh, yes, we talk. Oh, there's hope. Oh, the hope is killed again. Oh my God, what am I even doing? This online fucking based relationship that never got to be more than that once again since the day we met. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we had. And I am one for living in person, being in presence. That's where true experience is. And it's not like I was without experience and without people, but it takes a lot to dissect what is this? What is the point of this connection? Why is that feeling stronger than everything else? Is it like I still have to wait and wait for love? Or is the difference that you get to grow and grow into love with somebody in a partnership? That's always something that has been a question for me. What's the difference? How do you know? How do you stick with something if you're not fully in love, but things are good and they work and they do make you happy? But what level of happy do you need to be? I'm going to hop into the next book here. There are fewer as time goes on, so maybe this doesn't last too long. Is there significance to the coin falling? You tell me. This next one is called Never Dreamed. It's not really about him, but there is a moment. Your head falls into the crest between my shoulder and head. Overcome with the sublime, you rest. I kiss your sweaty head. Brush away falling hair 100 times as it drifts in every direction. Pull it away to see your face, holding your hand, embrace. It's the sort of love in this moment when we are quiet, relaxing, breathing together. A sweet, sweet moment when you fall into that perfect spot where you belong, and I feel all of you. I don't wonder where you are, I feel you. You don't go looking for me, you feel me. And I see your eyes, this true experience, beyond doubt, within dreams, the dreams I never dreamed before. In the slightest, I guess I was referring to the idea that though there had been romance in the heart, but the romance in physical touch and the not going looking because you're there, that idea of presence, so strong for me. And again, it's not like I was without relationships and without sex and without that physical connection. It's like I crave that physical connection with other people to have it while I was so in love with the other person. And that doesn't really work because I had one ex who pointed out to me when I said something to the effect of, yeah, there's sex and there's love, and they're like, why are those anything different? Sex is love, but it's part of the romance. It's not just physical. Like, well, I mean, yeah, I do want emotional connection with the person that I'm having sex with, but there's difference because there's being in love and then there's sex. They're different expressions, right? I mean, yeah, I'd still say to this day that's true, but at the same time, it made me realize I was disconnecting. I really disconnected because there's love and then there's true love, I guess, simply put. This next one is 37. Because I, a lonely poet, write so that you'll remember me. It's called Remember Me. The people who I write poetry about are often the ones who pass through my life. Honestly, it is strange to write about someone close, someone here and here to stay. What does it mean, this change? What does it mean to write about those away? Write them away, write them away. Is there a love in that art, or am I wishing them off? Cast a spell, hold my wand, I keep their memory alive. The emotion I pour out onto page, onto screen, and over again. I think they're still here, wherever they are. I hope they love with a love like I love. I hope they hold these words with joy. Heart to heart and all in between, be well, be strong, dear friends. I remember you. The same goes for me. I write so that you'll remember me. Because it started to feel like I'd written so much poetry about nautical knots, and then they were so remotely short term in my life. Then there are other people in Chaos of Doubt that I'd written about, and they also pass through. That almost made me scared. Should I write poetry about you if I want you to stay? Is it a curse? Am I just a witch who wishes people off through my words? Because I'm pretty sure that my writing a poem is meant to connect us more. It's meant to make you feel what I feel, or see at least what I feel, and that should bring us closer. It feels like many times the true words of expression from my heart have actually led people away. Romance hasn't been easy for me. Got another one here. And it's about the closest clue. It's called H. H dash. I took the title form from Edgar Allan Poe. Seems there were different people he wrote about poetry about, and just use a first letter of a name and a dash. So it's about all you get. H. Teardrops fall on the linoleum floor. Aching heart squeezes my eyes. If joy is to be found in the pen, then here goes. I think of you, and I think of love, then I think of the one that I love. Live and vibrant, here and now. You are gone, you are of the past. So I restrict my heart like I said that I wouldn't, so that my love for you does not shine stronger. But when I'm alone, it comes through like magic in the breeze. My heart glows with a love that it knows. Memories embedded so deep within, a feeling that I am blessed to live with. A certain guilt overcomes me. I live this fantasy in my head. When I open my eyes and see my life, I sometimes wonder where I am. I try not to speak your name nor write it. You're alive, then suddenly you die. Repressed down to a part of my heart where I can fall asleep and you're nothing but art. Yeah, I think that one's a solid wrap up of everything I've been saying. But just to ask a question, because I know it wasn't the end yet. This one's called On Your Side, because I'm still watching. There's so much sunshine on your side. What's it like being in love again? I can see that you are. I am too. You know, it's nice to be held. I like it when he hugs me, kisses me sweetly in my hair, my ears, my cheek when he holds me close. I feel his comfort. Close my eyes and he won't disappear. His heart full for me in these gentle moments. I wonder what it would be like if it were you. I can't worry about that, but you were the first feeling like this. So I'll ask once more, what's it like being in love again? And I'll probably tell more of this story later on, but it seems that in this moment, this one in the last poem, there's a sort of struggle because I started to love somebody else. And that person would also never be able to return that love because he just died. That was Jesse. You know, in a two-page spread here, we got On Your Side, and then we got Bullet Splash, me saying I love you to him. Hmm. I'm just gonna sit here and rub my chin for a second and let you do the same. I've got the last couple of them here because these ones I'm starting to, let's say, let go or resurrect or try to let go. Curses. Engulfed by the darkness of fear, navigating a path to divine unconditional love. Tea energy is love if I knew just how to taste it. Forget the lovely things in life. This is the time to be brave. Expose my demons for what they are. Let them find their way to the page. I, for one, am not sinister, more a protagonist without goals, watching a curious white rabbit at night, await in fragrant curses to spawn. Intent as I may be, they do not come to me. Perhaps a meditative silence is forcing me to sleep. Perhaps I cannot live this way, a never-ending game and charade. Let this charm not spook me. Lend a hand to end this dismay, cursing the curse itself. And that one's interesting because it was when I was breaking up with a current boyfriend, 2022. I was still also then reminded once again of Nautical Knots in the past and trying to identify, I don't know, because if I'm struggling with love in one department, then my heart would flutter back to him because I recognize that it was comfortable. It's something that I knew, that I felt I knew well, or it was a standard of emotion for me. But let's try to put a curse on that, yeah? Well, the last one that I find out here is extinguish eternity. Because after everything, all of the love, all of the heartbreak over many, many years, this being in 2022 still would make that only 10 years later. Well, only. It's kind of a lifetime when you're a teenager and you fall in love. So I decided there's nothing anymore. There's nothing to us. I I mean I already knew this, but I find truth and I resolve, and then I fall again and I resolve, never fall again. It just kind of never ends, does it? I don't think I have any answers for anybody who is trying to seek solace. But here's the last one I got. Extinguish eternity. Ticking, 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 a window has now closed. I am the ticking time bomb waiting in a trance, soaking in the silence like a hidden war. What detrimental wrath fondles my ears? Hurry towards a conclusion. The spark, the fear, will die. I'll extinguish you like the flame of eternity. May all else live on. You are no longer my cup of tea. You wouldn't go racing for a taste. You wouldn't come back to hold me. Every moment you never cried a tear, I did. You are not my infinity. And symbolically, I broke infinity. This is the end. This is something that may never be, that will never be. I had to extinguish it. I had to break ties. You know, there you can do candle magic where you tie a string to the two and it burns. You break the cord. I broke it with infinity. Did I fully break it? Then? Probably not. But things like that take time. Spells and love connections that are stronger than we. I would say that it was stronger than me for many, many years. What do I feel now? Well, I did fall in love in a different way. I fell in love with a dead man, but I feel his spirit, I feel his energy, and I feel his love. And it's crazy that that love is stronger and more present than the person who is still alive. Maybe, just maybe, I'm falling in love again, and that's why these reflections have come to mind. I'm going to leave it there.